All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here, trying to talk about real music in real time for a few real people out there just like you and just like me. Not going to go into too much detail, but today has been a really crappy day for me. Had a video that I put out earlier. Apparently, it had no sound. It had sound when I loaded it, and I'm getting reports from people that the sound went away. The sound was there, and then there was no sound. Hopefully this video will have sound. The subject matter, which is about Stevie Nicks and her visits to a certain place in order to take care of a certain problem, that may have something to do with it. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Here's the Big Wolf Band, live in Howlin'. All right, check them out. They're really good. Also, don't forget to help out with my friends over at Modern Retro Radio. You can do that by just tuning in, modernretrofm.com. Great people, great radio station. I get a lot of kind words. I've got a couple of patrons who are very loyal. When I'm losing patrons, these people step up and say and do just amazing things. You can join Patreon for $1 a month or $2 a month. I'm not going to stop, even though a lot of people are saying, please stop asking for money. There's not much else I can do. YouTube at one point was fairly lucrative, and now all of that is going down the drain after 7 years. So I'm going to try to hold on to this as long as I can. And when I can't hold on to it, I'm just going to ask people, hey, if you like the content, I'll just go somewhere else and do this independently if it gets to the point where it's just not profitable. And I could say what I really want to say and speak to just like-minded people instead of all the trolls out there who truly make my life miserable. I'm just going to say that. So this article about Stevie Nicks, it was in the Federalist. It was sent to me by one of the patrons on my page, and here's the title: Where Have All the Good Women Gone? And there's a picture of Stevie Nicks. This is primarily about Stevie Nicks, but about women in the current age in general. So Barbie's new Stevie Nicks doll illustrates how feminism destroyed the female virtues of patience, loyalty, and compassion. Barbie has just introduced the Stevie Nicks doll, in case you didn't know, which harks back to Nicks' early days with Fleetwood Mac. The pre-orders sold out in a flash. Nicks said this on Twitter, or X, or whatever you want to call it. When Mattel came to ask me if I would like to have a Barbie made in the Rumors cover style, I was very overwhelmed. Of course. I questioned, would she look like me? Would she have my spirit? Would she have my heart? Nick's fears were put to rest upon seeing it when she commented, I am her and she is me. She absolutely has my heart. Okay, those are, again, words from a 70-something-year-old person. Dolls aren't a new love for Nicks, who spoke of her affinity for them in a 1992 interview with Vox magazine. Nicks' home was decorated with dolls and lace, no leather, just dolls and lace, and she confessed a desire to dress like a rag doll. So you can cue the Aerosmith song right there. She's like a damsel in distress in her castle, Vox reported, and we're in her fairyland lounge. Yes, these are, again, grown adults having a conversation in 1992. Nicks is featured in a book called The End of Woman: How Smashing the Patriarchy Has Destroyed Us. After I unearthed her candid remarks to Vox about her life, career, and 4 abortions. To give up 4 babies is to give up a lot that would be here now. This is Stevie Nicks talking. So that really bothers me a lot and really breaks my heart. But they're gone. So she composes herself and then says, but I couldn't because I was too busy. And I had all these commitments. Really? I mean, if you're fairly rich, and I understand that, Stevie Nicks kind of snorted away a lot of her money, but I'm sure she's still fairly well off, right? So if you've got a lot of money and it's inconveniencing you to take care of a baby, or in this case, it would be 4 babies, so that would be a lot of work, admittedly. You could probably hire somebody, right? Full-time nanny, maybe a couple of nannies. I mean, I just think that would be the solution to the problem. No mention of that in this article. It's kind of the elephant in the room. You've got money. Other celebrities and rock stars and movie stars, they just hire somebody, I mean, it's better than doing what she did, right? I'm thinking. Anyway, Nicks, like many women before and since, prioritized a career over family, seeing her obligation to her fans and those who worked on her tour as more important. She speaks of the heartbreak of the men with whom she had relationships and who were the fathers of her children. This is crazy right here. Eventually, their hearts couldn't take it. They couldn't understand quite enough how deeply embedded in this I was. And so it eventually hurt them too much, and they had to leave or face devastation on their own. Now, she's talking about the men here. Now, we've been told for generations that men shouldn't be a part of this conversation, right? It's a woman's choice. It's a woman's body. It's a woman's decision. It's a woman's life, so forth. And it's really difficult, or it's between a woman and her doctor. Apparently, it's not between a woman and the father. But here, she says, like the quiet part out loud, that the fathers were devastated here. And they had to leave, she says, or face devastation on their own, because this would be too much of a heartbreak for them. Anyway, what happens when we apply the same distinctions that we apply to men to women? Like the difference between a good man and a real man. And there is a distinction. A good man is somebody that is kind of chivalrous, does things like honor, duty, integrity, sacrifice, standing up for the little guy, being a provider and a protector. Whereas, a real man kind of does win at all costs, is tough, strong, never shows weakness, plays through pain, sucks it up, is competitive, gets rich, and then gets a word that rhymes with made that begins with the letter L. So that would be a real man versus a good man. But there is such a thing as a good woman as well. And then there's a working woman, which we have currently. So gone was the good woman and her hallmark virtues such as patience, loyalty, and compassion. These ideas were redefined as codependency, a kind of slavery, only for women who were doormats. The virtues of the working woman ascended, taking center stage, like Stevie Nicks. Self-reliance, ambition, focus, and strength. No family, no man, no child would get in her way. Every few months, especially during award season, a new starlet comes out and thanks the universe for allowing her to go to Planned Parenthood, lest her career would have been ruined by the demands of caring for a wiggling, wailing dream crusher. Wow. That's horrible. Just to think in those terms. The Nicks story isn't just about the sad reality of a mother ending the lives of her children because of her working obligations. It shows the mental discord created when women neglect what makes them good in order to embrace what makes them a Marxist. Yeah. I don't disagree with that. Sadly, Nicks' love for dolls will never take the place of her children. Her life is a testimony to what happens when we give up our children for a much lesser good. Certainly, Nicks, like so many other women who have followed the advice of Betty Friedan, can be called many good things. A good singer, a good songwriter, a good entertainer, or even a good Barbie doll. But few would be tempted to call her a good woman. And that's the truth. And with Stevie Nicks, from my own observations, it seems like there is some regret that's creeping to the surface. She won't admit it, other than that she's sad, but she had to do it. She doesn't repent. In other words, a lot of people will say, wow, I shouldn't have done that. And there are certain people in this world that just can't admit that they made a mistake, because this is an ideology. And if you admit defeat, then you're basically saying that your ideology really sucks. And it does. It leads to heartbreak. And look, I empathize with a 15-year-old girl who doesn't have the opportunities that Stevie Nicks had. Stevie Nicks was a grown woman, I believe, when all of this happened, which makes this even more bizarre to me. Again, imagine Don Henley and Stevie Nicks have a kid. And what does that kid grow up to be? Could be one of the great musicians of all time, could have helped keep this genre going for another generation, but we don't have that child. That child was aborted. So it's just sad. It's really sad how people prioritize things and they don't look at the reality of what they're doing, and then they try to justify it or explain it. I was really busy. Yeah, you could have paid for a bunch of people. You could have had like an entourage of people taking care of your baby. I mean, these bands, they have entourages all the time. It's just not cool to have a little baby hanging around when you're a rock star, I guess. Although many rock stars have done it, and I think they're better for doing it. And they have great family relationships, and they can pass all this music down to their children. It's pretty stunning, the difference between some people, and this is the idea of feminism. This is what Stevie Nicks is all about. She celebrates it. She says all of the right things. Her hero, I think, was Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which makes total sense. So anyway, that's pretty much the video that had no sound from earlier. I think the one I did earlier was way better because I'm kind of getting past my bedtime here. But check out Big Wolf Band, Live and Howlin'. Great album. Seriously, check out this band. Sometimes I'm a little unfocused on how good certain bands are when I present them to the audience, but Big Wolf Band is terrific. Just Google their music and you'll find out what some really great blues rock sounds like. Also, don't forget Modern Retro Radio, modernretrofm.com. I appreciate everybody who supports this channel via Patreon and YouTube membership. Unfortunately, in the months ahead, I'm going to need more support. Some of my subscribers are going away, which is bizarre, but everything is just going in the wrong direction right now. So for those of you who want to support the channel, even if you wanted to do like a one-time thing, like do it for 1 month and then drop it, that's up to you. Typically, these are reoccurring payments, $1 or $2 a month. Most people can do that, but I understand Bidenomics right now is not helping a lot of people. So I get it if financially this is rough for you. If you like the content, please think about supporting the channel. And again, thanks for watching. God bless everybody, and see you soon.